So as you can see here are my group members, which consists of is DANISH, one AZIM NAIM, one ABDUL, Muhammad FAIQ SHYAKIR, and me, myself, YASMEEN SOFEA. So here's the overview of the project, which is located in Bukit Tanjung Gelang, Gebeng, Kampung Pahang, which is a coastal site with consistent wind speeds. And the size and capacity of this project is approximately 100 hectares, with 7 wind turbines of 900 kilowatt each and a total capacity of 6.3 megawatts. It also produces up to 35 gigawatt hour of clean energy as the annual output, and it powers thousands of homes. And there are also several infrastructures which includes service roads, substations, transmission lines, and maintenance facilities. So the purpose of this project is actually to support Malaysia's renewable energy roadmap, MyRER, which is 31%, which is we need to reach 31% RE target by 2025. And of course, there are several benefits to this project, which are it reduces fossil fuel reliance, creates jobs, boosts local economy, and ensures environmental compliance. So in terms of sustainability, it is EIA compliant with stakeholder engagement and safety monitoring system. So I will pass it to my next member.
Okay. There is two environmental impact that will occur during and after the construction of the Gebeng wind farm project. So now I will explain the environmental impact that occurred during the construction phase of the Gebeng wind farm project. So firstly, let's look at the land clearing. To prepare the site for turbine foundation, service roads and supporting buildings, a large area of forest had to be cleared. This was done within the Tanjung Gelang Forest Reserve, which is a highly sensitive ecological zone with rich biodiversity. The removal of vegetation didn't just destroy habitats, it also eliminated the plant that helped stabilize the soil and maintain the local climate. Without this cover, the soil become vulnerable to erosion, especially during heavy monsoon rains. Sediments from the eroded soil can flow into nearby river and eventually into the coastal waters, polluting the water sources and harming marine life. Additionally, deforestation breaks the natural ecological connection in the area, isolating animal population and restricting their movement and breeding patterns. This reduces biodiversity and weakens the health of the ecosystem. Next is slope leveling. Since the terrain is in Bukit Tanjung Gelang is hilly, construction involves extensive grading of slopes to create stable foundation for turbines. However, the soil in this area is sandy and porous, which make it very prone to landslide and erosion when disturbed. When this kind of soil is exposed to Malaysia heavy rainfall, especially during the northeast monsoon, there is a high risk of this soil displacement. This not only worsen erosion, but can also change the natural water flow in the area, potentially leading to surface flooding in lower regions. Okay, lastly, we have habitat disruption. The construction process fragmented the existing forest habitats. Infrastructure like roads and buildings create a physical barrier that interrupt wildlife movement to access to breeding or feeding grounds. This isolation affects species that rely on large connected habitat to survive. It also increases age effects, meaning animals are more exposed to predators, invasive species, and climate stress at the forest edge. Research shows that in areas where wind farms disturb forest environments, there is often a noticeable decline in species diversity and population density. So, in a summary, during construction, the Gebeng wind farm causes significant environmental stress through forest clearing, slope modification, and habitat fragmentation. This impact highlights the need for careful planning and mitigation in similar development. After the construction of the Gebeng wind farm, several long-term environmental impacts continue to affect the local ecosystem. Let's begin with biodiversity loss. The permanent clearing of forest areas has caused a long-term reduction in species diversity. Many native species, including amphibians, small mammals, and insects, have lost their critical habitats used for feeding, breeding, and shelter. Because the land has been fragmented, it becomes difficult for the species to move freely, leading to reduced genetic diversity and a high risk of extinction, especially among more sensitive species. This loss also affects the forest's ability to provide essential ecosystem services such as natural flood control and local climate regulation. Without healthy biodiversity, the overall resilience of the ecosystem is weakened. Next, we have the issues of soil erosion. The construction process modified the terrain and removed much of the natural vegetation, leaving the land exposed to heavy monsoon rainfall. This result in the erosion of the nutrient-rich topsoil, which is negatively impact plant regrowth and degrades soil structure over time. The use of concrete piling and the compaction of soil during construction have also worsened the surface water runoff and reduced the soil ability to absorb water. As a result, sediment from the eroded areas is being carried into the nearby coastal waters, where it damages marine ecosystem and reduce water quality for aquatic life. Finally, there is interference with bird mitigation routes. The location of the wind farm falls along well-known migratory route used by bird species such as the Walden's hawk eagle, Asian paradise flycatcher, and helmet hornbill. The turbine blade pose a serious collision risk, especially for birds that fly at low to medium altitudes. Furthermore, the changes in forest structure such as reduced tree density can interfere with the birds' natural visual and navigational cues. The constant noise and movement from the turbines may also disrupt birds' communication and lead them to avoid the area entirely. As a result, some species may be forced to take longer or less suitable routes, which increase energy use and reduce their chances of survival and reproduction over time. In summary, while the Gebeng wind farm supports renewable energy development, it brings ongoing challenges to biodiversity, land stability, and wildlife behavior that must be addressed with proper environmental management. I'll pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
My name is NAIM, AA22113. Let me explain about the EIA requirement. What is EIA and why it is required? So EIA is a study to identify, predict and evaluate environmental impact of a proposed project to ensure that projects are environmentally sustainable and meet regulatory requirements. So for our project, for Gebeng wind farm, EIA is required due to the project scale and sensitive location. So next is the EIA requirement under mentioned Department of Environmental. So it is governed by Environmental Quality Prescribed Activities, EIA Order 1987, Amend 2050. So the wind farm are not directly listed, but there are some things that are covered under broader categories such as forestry and power generation and transmission. The first thing is forestry. So the Gebeng wind farm, it make a conversion of the hill land to other land use which is more than 50 hectares. It also make logging of forest conversion activity near the reservoir for municipal water, irrigation or hydropower. It also affect the state national park or marine park. So the next is power generation. So the wind farm, it is not a combined cycle station, but there are power generating facilities. So they are big scale and environmental impact make EIA necessary to do, because it affect the land use, infrastructure development and ecological effect. Guideline is the one of the requirement that we need to follow. So based on our case, we have to follow the 3 guidelines. First guideline on erosion control for development project in the coastal zone, published by Malaysia Department of Irrigation and Drainage 1997. Second is a compilation of Environmental Act, law and regulation related to the construction industry, published by CIDP Malaysia 2008. And last is the guideline on the economic valuation of environmental impact of EIA project, published by Malaysia Department of Environment, Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment 2008. The next EIA requirement that we can do is a scoping. So this table illustrate the relationship between each wind farm construction activity and its effect on the environment from the start of the project to its completion. So what we can see, the green one is this impact to the environment, which is employment. So the most impact to the environment is slope stability. So this show the highest score that contribute the most impact to the Gebeng wind farm.
So my name is Muhammad FAIQ SYAKIR bin Muhammad SHUHAIMI and my ID number is AA22116. Okay, so for my part is environment protection. So environmental protection is about the preserving and restoring nature and is to ensure healthier and more sustainable world. It also includes action like reducing pollution, conserving natural resources and protecting ecosystems. By using the renewable energy such as solar and wind, managing waste and minimize on using plastic. This is all part of this effort to protect the environment. So the method we use to protect the environment is ecosystem-based adaptation, or we call it EBA. So this method is a climate strategy that use nature to help communities adapt to climate change impact like floods and drought. For example, we can restoring mangroves, which is they can protect coastlines, improve the biodiversity, and store carbons. So by protecting forests can prevent the landslides and provide clean water. And this method not only helps the environment but also it will improve livelihoods and food security. Forest ecosystem restoration. This is essential in reversing the environmental impact of land clearing. We can be planting native trees and applying assisted natural regeneration techniques. We can also help forests recover faster while preserving their natural biodiversity. This method improves carbon sequestration, stabilize the microclimate and protect the soil from erosion. Enforcement against illegal logging and promoting community involvement in reforestation also support long-term success. Restoring forests also builds environmental resilience and support sustainable development goals. Next is slope stabilization and terrain management. This activity often causes instability like soil erosion, especially in hill areas. So to manage this, slope stabilization techniques like terracing, geotextile, and vegetation cover can be applied at the hills area. Vegetation strengthens the soil structure while reducing surface runoff. Other than that, proper drainage system must be installed to control water flow and avoid landslides. This sustainable engineering practice not only protect infrastructure but also prevent sedimentation in nearby rivers and also can conserve surrounding habitats. Lastly, habitat connectivity and wildlife conservation. If we cannot protect the wildlife, the habitat destruction can threaten wildlife movement and disrupt ecosystem. To solve this problem, we can establish habitat corridors and wildlife bridge. These structures can allow animals to relocate their habitat safely across divided landscape and maintaining genetic diversity, and also they can reducing the roadkill. In addition, zoning regulation can protect critical habitats, and the community education and monitoring programs can help minimize human-wildlife conflict. This approach ensures that the development does not come at the expense of biodiversity, and it can support migration and species.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to our respected lecturer. My name is AZIM KHAWARIZMI bin Muhammad RUMAIZI. My metric ID AA22114, and next I will present about acts and regulation in terms of the development of the Gebeng wind farm Pahang, Malaysia. And these acts and regulations divided into three factors, which is key acts and regulatory framework. The second one is key regulations and subsidiary legislation, and the last one is policy. Okay, we move to the first factor, which is key acts and regulatory framework, and it has been divided into three acts, which is first Renewable Energy Acts in 2011. The Renewable Energy Act 2011 promotes clean energy in Malaysia through the feed-in traffic (FIT) system, offering fixed rates for power from solar, biomass, biogas, and small hydro. It mainly applies to projects up to 30 milliwatt, with larger ones needing extra approval. And the second one is the Sustainable Energy Development Authority (SEDA) Act 2011. SEDA Malaysia, under the SEDA Act 2011, drive Malaysia move to clean and sustainable energy. It manage the FIT also system, supports in investment, advises the government, ensures compliance, and promotes public awareness, forming the core of Malaysia's green energy future. And the last one of acts is Energy Commission Act 2001. The Energy Commission, established under the Energy Commission Act 2001, regulates Malaysia electricity and gas supply. It ensures safety, fairness, and efficiency, issues license, protects consumers, and supports the shift to sustainable. Move to the next factor, which is key regulation and subsidiary legislation. It has been divided into four renewable energy, which is feed-in approval and feed-in tariff rate for the first one, and second one is technical and operational requirement. Third one is criteria for renewable sources, and the last one is renewable energy power purchase agreement. And for the first renewable energy, rules 2011 is details the procedure for obtaining feed-in approval and sets the tariff rates for various renewable energy sources. And the second one is specifies the operational and technical specification needed for renewable energy installations to guarantee grid safety and compatibility. It defines the criteria that energy sources must meet to qualify as renewable under Malaysian law. And the last one is specifies the typical terms and conditions for power purchase contracts between the utility companies and renewable energy providers. And for the last factor of the acts and regulation is policy context, which is it has been divided into two factors, which is National Energy Transition Roadmap (NETR), and the second one is Green Technology Master Plan within 2021 until 2030. And for the first factor is NETR, which is the National Energy Transition Roadmap. NETR outlines Malaysia's path to net zero emission by 2050 with a goal of 70% renewable energy in power generation. It focuses on 6 key areas, which is the first one is energy efficiencies, renewable, hydrogen, bioenergy, green mobility, and carbon capture (CCUS). The roadmap includes 50 key initiatives and 10 flagship projects to drive the transition. And the second one is Green Technology Master Plan, which is the Green Technology Master Plan guides Malaysia's shift towards a low carbon resource efficient economy. It promotes green lifestyle, mindset change, and supports the Transformation National 2050 TN50 goal of becoming a top nation in economy, well-being, and innovation by 2050. And that's all from me. Thank you. And finally, we can jump into a conclusion of this part for the development of the Gebeng wind farm. And we can see that this development required before starting any major development projects. And the second one, we can see that it evaluates potential impacts on the environment, society, and ecosystem in terms of EIA. And the next one, we can see that it helps identify risks and threats early for informed decision making. And the next one is demonstrate the developers' responsibilities and commitment to sustainability. More than just a checklist, then the EIA is a powerful tool for environmental protection. It reflects the developers' commitment to sustainable practices by outlining the impacts of a project and the steps to reduce harm. A strong EIA is backed by research, critical thinking, and careful planning. And that's all from me. Thank you.